Welcome to HEXUS.gaming Sofa. My name's Stephen, this is Nick, and today we're talking about what's hot and what's not in the world of video games. This month's been a slow period in the video games release calendar. Obviously all the developers are getting ready for the September to December release.
Yeah.
But there's been two games worthy of note, worthy of talking about.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein,
Yep.
which is the sequel to Return to Castle Wolfenstein.
Which was the sequel to Wolfenstein.
Yes. That's out. It's the return of BJ Blazkowicz, I think his name was.
Sergeant BJ Blazkowicz, yeah.
And
he wasn't returning Carl for Wolfenstein anyway.
It's the same bloke,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah, him.
Yeah. And the supernatural Nazis are back, and a range of enemies. I think there's about 100 enemies in this one.
Right.
And the range of occult weaponry.
All right, so have
standard
we got,
weaponry.
because I was a big fan of Return to Carl for Wolfenstein, and I haven't had time to even look at Wolfenstein, have we got picking up a German MP4, hosing down a stairway full of Germans like Clint Eastwood does at the end of Where Eagles Dare?
Yes.
Okay. Have we got occasional reference to the occult with ghosts and ghoulies and a few zombies popping up and you're thinking, got to conserve my ammo?
Well, there's a bit more reference to the occult in this one.
Okay.
The big new addition is Veil Powers,
Right.
which Blazkowicz picks up this amulet, and whenever he wears it,
Yeah.
you start off with Veil Sight, which basically puts a veil, as it were, over the screen.
Right.
And you can see enemies in the distance.
So it's like
you can
X-ray
move a
vision
bit
type
faster.
thing?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
You can move a bit faster.
Right.
And then as you progress, you unlock more Veil Powers that last for a limited period.
Yeah.
But you can improve your shield, so it's impenetrable.
Right. So
improve your bullets.
it's really got a lot more fantasy than Return to Carl for Wolfenstein, which I know had. I mean, you had like zombies hovering on electrical beams and stuff like that.
There's some
near the end
hovering.
of it.
There's some hovering ghoulies in this one.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, which kind of for me took the edge off it, because I was enjoying the fact that it was like a good World War II shooter, and you're in a big dark castle and you're a secret agent and you've got to place a bomb in the radio tower and then go this way and all that sort of thing. I enjoyed that, and the zombie stuff sometimes was scary and was quite cool, but it kind of did take the edge off the whole World War II shooter type thing. And we got a lot more occult now.
There's a little bit more. I think. I mean, it retains all the core elements from Return to Castle Wolfenstein.
So
it
run and shoot, run and gun.
Run and shoot.
Yeah.
I mean, it uses the. I think it's the ID Tech 4 engine from Doom 3.
Right. Okay. So that's the modified engine then.
Modified. Yeah. So you're darting around quite fast.
Okay.
Arcade-like.
Yeah.
But it's essentially the same game with a few more zombies thrown in, and these Veil Powers.
Okay.
You've got all the collectibles, like you can collect intelligence documents, and you can sort of go around and search for gold, which you can use to upgrade weapons.
So it's a bit like the darkness, in that you get like some sort of like supernatural powers which increase in time, kind of thing, or even like Jedi powers as well in any of the Star Wars games.
Yeah, it's sort of a mixture of. I mean, the ideas are taken from other games. I mean, you've got like the.
Have you got bullet time?
Yeah.
Max Payne.
Max Payne, bullet time.
Right.
Slows the zombies down.
Time?
You have got speed. You can speed up
time
as well.
Shift?
You haven't got. No, you haven't got time shift.
No, time shift did speed up time.
Oh right, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dead Space did it as well.
Mm.
No, Dead Space did slow down, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah. There's quite a few games that have done it. So there's no new ideas here.
Right.
But I think they've been implemented well.
Okay.
They're enjoyable. I think people who enjoy Return to Castle Wolfenstein are certainly going to enjoy the single player.
So have they basically taken all these ideas from all these other games and honed it all to a nicely rounded single player campaign?
Yeah. I mean, it's a fairly short campaign. If you're not interested in going, you can go off and collect all these documents and gold, which fleshes it out a bit more. But it's a fairly short campaign. But it's an enjoyable campaign.
Okay.
But I mean, what they've done differently, you've got this rigidly linear levels.
Right.
But you've also got like an open world hub,
right.
Where you'll sort of wander around, speaking to NPCs and picking up missions and side objectives.
Okay.
So it's not really open world. It's not like Stalker
so
sort of.
That's a bit
world.
like Hellgate London, where you have like the hubs in the middle, and then you go off. I know Hellgate London has randomly generated dungeons and stuff like that, but that similar sort of thing. You always return to a common point, and you can do stuff.
I mean, it's a nice idea. It hasn't been done particularly well. It's quite a small area, and what you end up doing is trekking along from one area to the next, thinking this is boring.
Right.
And at the end of every mission, you have to keep going back there and doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a nice idea, but it does what Return to Castle Wolfenstein did best, which was fun, run and gun.
Yeah. Okay. What about multiplayer?
Multiplayer is disappointing.
Disappointing?
Yeah, 3 game modes.
Disappointing, dire, or just awful?
Well, I found my experience so far has been quite awful.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they'll bring a patch out because at the moment it's really laggy online.
Right.
There's a lot of people zipping about all over the place.
So you get a lot of warping and stuff like that.
Yeah. People don't keep still long enough for you to shoot them. It's just not very enjoyable.
To be perfectly honest, I wouldn't want to stand still long enough to get shot.
Yeah, but it's not much fun. That's not much fun, is it? You've got to be able to shoot the odd person.
Right, okay.
3 game modes, I think it is.
Turned on. Okay, so 8 maps, 3 multiplayer modes. What's it like?
There's just not enough variety.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone seems to be shying away from the objective-based games and
Right.
playing like the deathmatch games.
Yeah.
Whereas personally, I prefer, to get
All
in a
working
team
towards a common goal, sort of
yeah,
thing.
everyone's sort of every man for themselves.
What's team
It's a
deathmatch like?
bit, glitchy,
Yeah.
laggy, not very enjoyable.
How long did you spend on it?
I've played it over a weekend.
Right.
And then I'm going to go, hopefully I'll wait for a patch to come out, then I'm going to go back and try it then.
So how quick did you knock out the single player campaign?
Single player campaign's about 8 hours.
Really? Is that all?
Yeah, you can, obviously, for the sake of reviewing it, I didn't go off and collect all the documents and get all the goals. I even missed some of the upgrades because I didn't, so I haven't had the full 100% Wolfenstein experience, but I have finished it.
Okay.
And I did enjoy the single player campaign.
Yeah.
I've just been disappointed with online.
Sounds a bit like Medal of Honor Airborne. That was incredibly short, but really intense, and I really enjoyed it, and I was gutted when it was done over and done with in about 4 hours. Yeah, and that includes playing it all the way through and hunkering down and like taking my time. But yeah, I suppose the sign of a good game is whether or not you do go back to it.
I think what's disappointed me overall, although I would recommend playing the single player campaign, I think I gave it 6.5 out of 10 in my written review. And it was really online that's disappointed me. And I think for any shooter game, the online component's quite important.
Yeah.
The single player campaign is, if you like Return to Castle Wolfenstein, you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just don't expect any innovations like the Wolfenstein series has been known for, and which I was expecting this time around. Okay. It doesn't really live up to its legacy, but it's still an enjoyable shooter.
Okay.
But until something better comes along, i.e. Modern Warfare 2 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, maybe Armour. Have a look at Armour 2. See what that's like. Yeah. All right.
That's it.
Cool.
Thank you for joining us on HEXUS Gaming Sofa. We'll see you next time.